All right, we're going to go ahead and look at 37A in your packets. We're going to do the setup for each problem, and then I'm going to leave it for you to solve. So it says each figure shows a triangle with one or more of its medians. So nowhere does it tell you that this is a median. So what I have in the first problem is a reminder that you're looking for a median, and so we're going to assume this line in the center from here to here is a median, and if that is true, then we would mark these pieces congruent. So in this one, it says find PB right here if CB, the whole thing, is 18. So this whole length is 18, but we have two equal segments, then each piece would be 9. So PB equals 9 units. And so that one, there wasn't much to do. So I'll leave number 2 for you. But I want to remind you that this is your median line. It's showing the median, so mark this congruent, and then think about the information you have and find XW. So I'll leave that one. Now let's go down to number 3. And number 3, again, here's our median, so let's mark, that's all we know. I don't know that these angles are equal. All I know is this is a median line, so that's a midpoint. That's what I know. BA, the whole thing, is 2x minus 7. YA, this piece, is x minus 3 over 2. Okay, now, these pieces are equal, so this is also x minus 3 over 2. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one. It's the idea that you would take this plus this and set it equal to here. So that's 2 of these. So I'm just going to say 2 of these would equal 2x minus 7. So 2 of these, if I double this, I will get the whole thing. And so let me help you get started here. Whenever you go to do this, the 2's would cross cancel, and you would end up with x minus 3 equals 2x minus 7. And they asked you to find x. So once you get it down, solve for x, and that will be your answer. All right, now don't ignore me and keep working on this. You're going to have to come back. That's why I'm trying to give you those reminders. Now, look at the next one. It says to find x. Okay, we want to find x. This is our median, so I want to mark it. Again, in the directions, it's telling you each triangle has a median line. So I know I have these two congruent pieces with the midpoint. Now, ED, the whole thing, is 6x minus 5 over 5. TD, this little half, is 6 plus 5x over 10. 6 plus 5x over 10. Okay, so it's the idea that these are equal to each other. TD is the half of the whole thing. So if I have 2 of those TDs, if I would add those together or double it, that would equal 6x minus 5 over 5. So let me help you with the fraction part of this again. You have 2 options. 1, you can distribute this and deal with the fraction, or 2, you can reduce it. So I still have a fraction. I have 6 plus 5x over 5 equals 6x minus 5 over 5. Now, some of you might catch that if the denominators are equal, then the numerators must be equal. But if you don't catch that, how do you solve a proportion, a fraction equal to fraction? We cross multiply. So this would be the 6 plus 5x times 5 would equal 5 times 6x minus 5. So you're going to distribute and get 30 plus 25x equals 25x minus 25. Oh, I was going to say that doesn't work. Hold on. That should be 30x. Good thing Mr. Adams is here. All right, that would be, because otherwise it wouldn't have worked. You would have had no solutions. Okay, so you're going to finish that one up and solve and find the x. Okay, moving on so you can finish these on your own. If you guys look at this, here is point B to Q. That is your midpoint from the median line. Now, QU, this part is 2x minus 11. QT, this part is x. I don't know what the whole thing is, but these are equal to each other. 2x minus 11 must equal x. So you're going to solve. It just asks you to find x, and you are done. Okay, let's set up the next one. Go ahead and show that median line, vertex to opposite midpoint, splits this segment in half. And let's see what we have. DH, this piece, is 4x minus 5 all over 10. And DJ is 1/5 x plus 7/10. Okay, we don't know what the whole thing is, but it does want me to find JH. JH is the whole thing. So I'm going to find out what each piece is, or know that I'm going to double it. All right, so these are going to be set equal to each other, which is not as easy as the other ones. So, guys, we're sort of stuck here because we have a fraction and then we have a mess over here. So you have two options. Option 1 would be to break this up and make it 4x over 10 and negative 5 over 10, or put this together as one fraction. What do you want to do? Do you want to break this up, or do you want to put this together? Which way do you want to do it?
How can you put those together?
You get a common denominator.
They're not the same.
Get a common denominator.
So you're allowed to combine that.
It will look like this.
You're allowed to combine with the x.
Yeah, if you make it look like this. All right, let's get a common denominator over here. Times 2 times 2. So this would give me 2, the maturity level is amazing in here. 2x over 10 plus 7 over 10. So if I get a common denominator, do you see that I would keep that common denominator of 10, and then I can add my numerators, 2x plus 7. 4x minus 5 over 10. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and use that idea. If my denominators are the same, then my numerators are the same. That's only if I have an equal sign. So these 10s would cancel out. So we're really just going to work with 4x minus 5 equals 2x. If you don't like that, you can distribute the 10 to both sides, but it would divide out. Okay, once you find x, you need to plug it back in and then put these together, because JH is the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. Look at the next side. Oh, you're going to be okay. There's 2 more that are median lines. Okay, so I'm going to let you do those because they don't have the fractions in them. So there's 2 more that are median lines. And then let's go down to the angle bisectors. Guys, if it says you have an angle bisector, it means you have these 2 congruent angles. So from D to P, these angles are congruent. I don't know anything about these segments. It's not a right angle here. These are congruent. So it says the measure of angle 2 is 32 degrees. Well, that means this is also 32 degrees. So if they want the measure of angle FDE, well, the measure of angle FDE is 32 plus 32, which is 64 degrees. So that's all I had to do there. Okay? Now, flip-flop it, go the other way. Here's my angle bisector, so these are congruent. Find the measure of angle 1. The angle, the big angle, VTU, this whole angle is 96 degrees. Well, wouldn't I just take the 96 degrees and divide it by 2? So I think it should be 48. Is that true? Anyone confirm or deny? Mr. Adams? 48 times 2 is 96? Okay, so that's what I know. All right, go ahead and look at number 11. Again, this is an angle bisector because they told us in the directions we have angle bisectors. Now that I know that, measure of angle 2 is 6x, measure of angle 1 is 7x minus 5. Well, don't we know these angles are equal? So 6x must equal 7x minus 5. And all we have to do is find x. Okay, so number 12 is very much the same. You have congruent angles, so please label them and set them equal. I want to talk about number 13. This is my angle bisector. The measure of angle 2 is 22x, and the measure of the big angle, look, x, z, y, this whole angle is 43x plus 1. So what am I worried about? Guys, you can't set 22x equal to this. 2 of the 22x's equals 43x plus 1, because both of these are 22x. So if I double the one angle, I get the whole angle. So that would be 44x equals 43x plus 1. Okay, so same idea here. Now this one asks you to find the measure of angle 1. So I'm going to write that there. So you know once you find x to plug it in. And in number 14, it asks you to find the measure of angle SUT, which is the whole angle. Okay, so I think you're at a good place now.